Oh, snap! Hi, what's up, guys? The Insane Game Freak here to bring you Season 2, Episode 6 review. Let's go. So this episode, I guess I could argue, is just set up part 2. We get introduced to like characters, to the girl who tried to kill Salty, Sloan and Verona. And we know a lot more backstory on how these events came to be. See, Durarara's the type of shit that'll like throw a scene at you, and there's like 8 other scenes to explain that and other shit. That's how Durarara works. So like you'll get like all the big points at random points in the arc, and the rest of the arc is just setting up for that point. So pretty much what we get this episode is like all the setup behind why Salty got see, Verona doesn't know that Celti's a Dullahan, so it's like, I killed him. Also, for some reason, they think that Celti is a guy. He's not like the slim figure in the breastises. Don't give it away, but apparently they think he's a guy. Yeah, the subtitles are lying to me. I'm more willing to believe that they think he's a guy, which would actually be pretty funny if they didn't recognize that it was a girl. So our current situation is this. Mikado is now being egged on by Isaiah. Is going out to hang out with Aoba on this weekend. And we got the dollars running around on some bullshit. And Mikado is now aware of that. So we already know where this is heading. Isaiah egging him on and trying to make him pick a path. Because that's what Masaomi and Isaiah are pretty much putting him in. It's like, either you lay low and let your group be purged of whatever the fuck it's doing, and let it take the bad rap for a while and kind of get destroyed from the end, pretty much by outside forces, or you become a real boss and you start handling business. That is Mikado's obvious 2 choices now. You either walk away from the dollars and let it get purged, and you may come back and reform it, although at that point there'd be no point, because once you purge the dollars and you try to come back and fix it, well, what's going to stop the shit from happening again? So really, you have 2 choices. Either walk away or become the true boss of the dollars. And knowing what I know where it's headed, but you can tell that's what it's heading towards. I'm already going to bank that who's kidnapping Henri is Verona and Sloan, because they even say it literally right before it happens. That, you know, and once since we already killed the Headless Rider, finding the girl will be easy. But so we might as well start working on the other job, which is to kidnap this girl and torture her. This brings up the question, how does Yggdrasil know about Saiga and know about Henri being Saiga? The only way I would think he would have known is the reports from the first season about Saiga running around fucking with people. Shit. That's my guess there. We also don't know the in-between section from when the girl wanted to kill Shizuo to now being like hiding behind Shizuo, which confused me, which means that we'll probably get an explanation. That means something happened in between where she's gotten comfortable with him. Even though we've seen in episode previews and even in the ending and the fucking opening that there's a Yakuza boss that she hangs around with and is very comfortable with. So we'll get more of that, I assume. Sloan is actually pretty funny in my opinion. He's the type of dude who gets easily distracted and questions everything. And Verona's obviously like the walking dictionary and encyclopedia, or pretty much the walking Google, where she has to explain everything or else he'd get hung up on the littlest thing. I kind of wish we had saw an exaggeration of what would happen if you couldn't explain something to Sloan. Like, would he have literally not moved about the whole cow thing, or the number 13 being unlucky and everything? Like, would he have actually have moved? Would he have not have moved and he would have just dwelled on that for the rest of his life? I'm curious. I think that part would have been pretty funny just to see if he would actually have done it or not. So, and then we have Celti because you have Celti doing this monologue throughout the entire episode talking about everything was fine and then we got thrown back into abnormality. which is pretty much what happened. Because now Celti's like, and see, Celti, I don't know if she's following them, but I don't know if it's because of a grudge thing, because, you know, they tried to kill her, or if she's just gonna go home to Shinra, which is obviously not what she's going to do. She's probably gonna go fuck up their shit, because you can't just drive around and fucking take somebody's head off, or think you take somebody's head off and get away with that shit. So I think Celti's like, you about to get your shit rocked. That's what's about to happen. The Henri situation is interesting, and if anything, that's just gonna egg Mikado on even further. Because once you put Mikado's that kind of dude, what you can see what's happening. The whole situation currently regarding the dollars and Chikage and all that other shit, that is slowly backing him into a corner where now he has to make a decision. His shit is getting tighter and tighter. He hasn't fully realized it, but that's what's happening. And now he's gonna have to pick the two paths that are in front of him. He used to have other options and had time. The time is cutting short, so now he's like, you either run left or right, and you got people pushing you, keep pushing you, so now you're gonna make a snap decision that you may or may not regret. That's what Mikado's about to go through, so I expect his arc to be some shit. His arc is going to be some shit. Celti, there's something Shinra mentions in this episode, and I think he mentions it before, that Celti doesn't have to do what she currently does, which is just transporter work. So it brings up the question, well, why does Celti consistently do this shit when she doesn't have to? It's like she's comfortable without her head. She's happy with Shinra. So it brings up the question, you don't need the money, obviously, because Shinra's like, we don't need the money. So you're not doing it for the money. I mean, she will use the money for things. And it's funny because you're thinking about Shinra every time some shit happens. So it brings up the question, is there like an ulterior motive Celti has that we don't know about yet that regards Shinra and the whole reason why she still wants to do this transporting shit? And I wonder how closely does it relate to Mikado's issue? I'm curious because I feel like those are the two characters I think that are hiding the most secrets. I mean, Aoba obviously hiding secrets, but you can tell Aoba is a very underhand kind of character. Like I feel like he will eventually grow to be something, to be a pain in everybody's ass. Like, he just seems like that character. He's to me, he reminds me of Kumagawa from Madaka Box. That's what he reminds me of. So I fear what the fuck he will do in the future. Regarding the little girl, because I can't remember her name, I'm still going to go into the understanding that, because now she's connected with Yggdrasil, because he wants her captured. So it's like, so you and I think Rory are both being hunted by the same guy. I'm going to assume you guys have some correlating issues together, probably meaning that you two are related. That's just my bet. That's my assumption. I'm still going to say they're related, because I don't think Rory is done, because we know that Yggdrasil at least deals with people who aren't normal. The fact that Rory was working under her, and Rory doesn't obviously want to work under Yggdrasil, makes me think that Yggdrasil has some deep hands into the supernatural, and that probably means, I mean, for God's sakes, he's going after Psycha, so there's obviously something more there that we don't know about. So the episode in itself is just more setup, just pushing closer and closer to a very disturbing climax. And considering we're on episode 6, and the first part of this is only going to last 10 episodes, I'm banking in the next, by episode 9 and 10, we're going to see some shit. We're going to see some real shit, and it's going to leave, and episode 10 won't end everything, but it'll leave you to the point in which when the next part comes out, you're going to be like, the next part will probably have a completely different tone. I'm actually banking that the second part of this that comes out, I think in the summer, is going to have a completely different tone to this first part. And this first part isn't necessarily dark, but I feel like it's about to get darker. So, yeah. But please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Thank you guys for liking and supporting this. If you want to catch up, they are offering Durarara in English dub and the first season entirely in sub for your watch on Crunchyroll, so go check that out. I will have this with my other playlist videos for season 2, so if you want to catch up on the episode reviews, you have the ability to do that. So, anyways, this has been the Insane Game Freak, so life's a game, play to win, and I'll catch you guys later.